Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Travis and I want to thank you for stopping in and checking out this TDH upload. In today's video, we're going to be installing this PSE big bore steering box into my 2000 Dodge Ram 2500. I won't run my mouth too much. The reason why we're replacing the box, you can see that it is a bit wet down here. It has been leaking power steering fluid. You can see here on the ground. It does leak from one of the seals up top. Now I could just reseal it, but this is either my second or my third OEM, quote unquote, remanufactured steering box. And they're trash. They're absolute garbage. I'm sick and tired of it. I should have ordered a PSE box a long time ago, and now we are here. So what that entails is obviously pulling down this steering box brace. I won't be able to use this brace unless I cut out these welds here and I move this plate, this pickup point, over a few inches to line up with the PSE box. You guys will see the actual box offsets off the side of the frame because the box is so big. They provide you with spacers. You guys can see here, those are the spacers. So it's pretty straightforward. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the lines down off the top of this box here and disconnect the actual steering shaft or the Borgeson shaft, and we'll get to installing this old girl. So I'm gonna apologize now for the fan noise. Love you guys, but I'm not shutting my fan off. Yo. Huh? Well, as you guys saw, the power steering box came out with no problems. Probably took me about 15 minutes or so to get that guy unbolted completely and dropped out of the truck. I've got it laid here on my welding table. I just want to show you guys the size difference between these two things here. I mean, look at the freaking PSE box. It is an animal compared to that stock box. Obviously from the top half, you can see this is a 6 bolt here on the top versus the 4 bolt. The main input shaft right here, I mean, look how large the case is compared to the factory case, or the OEM case, quote unquote. We'll step around front just to show you guys. You can see the actual shaft size. The shaft has to actually taper down so that way you can fit the pitman arm on, so I can't imagine how large it is up in there. I'm sure it's probably 1 3/4 inch, 1 7/8. I mean, it is massive compared to this little guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the area down on the frame, get that wiped down. We have to install these spacers when we put these new bolts in, so that'll be a little bit of a fight because this box is a little bit heavier than this guy. So just, you know, me, myself, and I trying to hoist that guy up there and get her bolted up is going to be a fun job. But let me get the camera set up. Again, I'll apologize about the fans. I wanted to bring this content to you guys so you can see. Let me go ahead and dive under there, clean that all up, and we'll get to reinstalling this nonsense. Alrighty folks, I've got this all cleaned up, wiped down. I have the old O-rings pulled off the lines. Got the new ones on the lines. They're tucked up there in paper towels so that way none of this debris that's built up on this frame can get on those lines. I don't want to damage them or get anything inside of it. And then you can see the new hardware with the spacer. They require you to install this PSE box with these spacers because the box is so big that it won't clear the frame. So I've got that one up in there. That's the one that's going to hold it when I swing the box up and start threading some bolts into it. We've also got this installation notice that PSE sends you with their box. They want you to make sure that your wheels are straight when you go and remove everything, and then they put this red line on here to let you know that the steering gearbox is in its straight position. It's not veered to the left or to the right or anything like that. So pay attention to that, make sure that's lined up, and then obviously just read this guy over and ensure that your wheels are straight when you go to take everything apart. It's kind of common sense, but I'm just putting it out there, just letting you guys know. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up, and we're gonna do our best to swing this big old thing in there. It's gonna be an interesting time. Guys, would you just look at this massive freaking steering box. I cannot get over how large this box is, man. I am so excited. So freaking excited. I really wish my Synergy track bar had showed up. I didn't really talk about it in this video because I didn't want to bore you guys at the beginning of this installation process, but I did order the Synergy conversion track bar, which converts our ball and socket style to a pass-through style like the 3rd generation trucks. This style of ball and socket is a really terrible engineering design, and it just wears out so quickly. And when you put oversized tires on the truck and you really use it for work, you're putting a lot of road miles on it, these track bars cannot keep up with the abuse. So I'm really excited to get that Synergy conversion bar, fully adjustable bar, and the conversion bracket in this thing. And obviously with this PSE box, it's just going to be a whole different animal. But that'll be for a different video. Right now what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull out each bolt individually, one at a time, put some blue Loctite on there, send them back in there, and then torque them down. From there I'm going to install the lines and get the steering shaft connected up there. And once that's connected, I can slip the pitman arm back on there, and we'll figure out the torque spec for that guy and get that thrown together. And then we've got to jack the truck up and bleed out the system and purge it of all of its air, because we don't want any air in the system, in the Hydro Boost system, when we go to fire the truck up and take it on its first test drive. You guys are also probably wondering, what's this plate that you've got welded onto your truck right here, dude? Well, if you didn't know, I sell these online. They're on my website. The link is in the description below, but essentially all this plate does is it's just a little brace plate for the outside of the frame. When I bought this truck, there was a small crack that had went from here all the way up into one of the bolt holes, and then it actually started to spread. So what I did was grind that out, drill out the end of the cracks, welded it up, ground it flush, and then I cut this plate out on my CNC table and welded it onto the side of the frame here, and I've had little to no issues. Before, I actually had these little spacers too. These are just little 1/8 inch washers that I actually had tack welded to the inside of the frame where these spacers are. They were up in here, and that was just to help take some of the load off right on that bolt hole and kind of spread it throughout the frame, and it worked out great all the way up until me installing the PSE box. Those little spacers really helped out when I had the OEM box on there. I haven't had any recurring cracks since I've done that repair, and then I wanted to do the ones on the inside just to be safe, but that's besides the point. We've got the box installed now. I'm gonna go ahead and slap my gloves on and get these lines connected. You guys really aren't gonna be able to see much. One, because it's kind of tucked up in there. Let me see if I turn my light on for y'all. So the lines are going to be right where those caps are. You guys really can't even see. I'm sorry. There's those caps right there. You can see 1 and 2. Those lines need to get connected to them. I've got the line that's actually hanging out back there, and then that line. So I won't film that. I'll just get those installed. And once that's installed, I'll slip the pitman arm back on and see if I can't get that squared away. And then when we go to the bleeding side of things, I'll fire the camera back up so you guys can see that. So I'll check in with you in just a couple minutes once I have almost everything squared away. Alrighty, we've got the lines in the box. We've got the steering shaft bolted to the box. I've got the pitman arm snugged up. I've got the sway bar bolted up. I've got to get the torque spec for the pitman arm nut, or the steering box nut, and then the torque spec for these 3 outer bolts. But I went ahead, in the meantime, filled it up with some power steering fluid, and now we're gonna do the most dreadful part of a Hydro Boost system, and that's bleeding it out. What you're gonna wanna do is steer it side to side, lock to lock. So when you go from left all the way up till it locks, and then back all the way over, that's gonna be considered 1 turn. So let me show you guys here. Hopefully my Bluetooth doesn't connect, and my keys in my truck. Of course they're not. All right, 1 sec. As I was saying, the key in, I'm gonna go ahead, This is it straightened up here. Wow, that box is tight. And we're gonna go all the way to the left, all the way back right, and then that's considered one full rotation. You need to do that about 50 frickin' times. It's the worst thing in the world, but that's how it goes. All right, got two. We are just about done bleeding her out. I just backed her out of the shop, letting her warm up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and take her on a test drive, and then we'll wrap this video up. So far, I'm not seeing any leaks under there. There's my new catch can. I haven't showed you guys that yet. Nor have I showed you our new t-shirts that will be going up on the website this week. Got a few things to show you. But I'm gonna let her idle for a couple more minutes and we'll take her on a spin. Alright, y'all gonna have to bear with me because I don't really have a mount for this thing, so. And ignore my squeaky clutch. This steering box is insane. Well, my steering wheel is not straight, that's for sure. This is why I wanted to install this with the track bars, that way I could go get in alignment. It is so sensitive. The tiniest little bit of input. You guys probably see my finger right here. That's all it's taking to drive this thing right now. Granted, I'm not really going highway speeds. That's where I have the most issue out of this truck. At highway speeds, it'll want to wander a little bit. Still got a little tiny bit of play in the wheel. Just the tiniest little bit. Alright, I'll steer. We're at a dead stop here, as you guys can see. Let's pull you guys out of here. I don't want to make this too much longer, but a dead stop. I am spinning this thing wheel lock to lock. Alright, lights running green. Ignore my awful dashboard too, it's lit up like a freaking Christmas tree. I really can't say until I get that track bar and change these ball joints how much tighter it is. It's got just a tiny bit of play in it. I mean, that's it right there. I come this way and it's already starting to steer. That's it right there. That's all I've got. So compared to what it was, it's amazing. guys didn't see that. And it turns immediately. I mean, just the tiniest little bit of input. Pulling it back to the shop now. We'll go ahead and wrap this video up. So far, so good. I really wish I had that track bar. I know I've repeated myself a couple times, but I'm very happy with it. Ignore the dashboard, like I said. My sending unit's acting up. I don't have a freaking tachometer since my ECM went out. The ABS light is from the ABS module. I had to swap that with a 1500, but I don't think that works out, because someone told me, one, that it's VIN locked. I don't know if that's true, and two, the axle that I put in the rear end isn't even an ABS axle, so yeah, it doesn't really help. But all right, guys, let's wrap this video up. If you're watching this video to figure out whether you want to buy a PSE steering box over a redhead steering box, a blue top steering box, or even an OEM one, my answer to you is buy it. Don't hesitate, just buy it. If you think, oh man, I'll wait, a couple months to see how this red top does, don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your money. Just buy the PSE box. It's freaking amazing. I mean, you guys saw it. I wish I had a little bit better of a camera angle, and I wish I had, like I said, the track bar. I wish I did the ball joints. I wish I had gone ahead and serviced everything all at once, so I can just show you or tell you how big of a difference. That's probably what I should have done. I probably should have taken you guys on a drive with the old steering box and this setup, and then do a comparison video a little later on. But this video is starting to reach 18 minutes or something like that, so I'm sorry that I made it so lengthy. I did not mean to make it so long. I just wanted to bring you guys this content, show you the installation of that box, and let you know that it is freaking worth the money. I'll say it 100 times over. I'll say it 1,000 times over. Just buy a PSE box. Just bite the bullet and buy it. So other than that, guys, I don't really have much else for you. As soon as I hear from Synergy or XDP, I think I ordered it through XDP, one of those guys, as soon as I hear about the bar, I will update you guys and let you guys know about that. My next video is going to be showing off some t-shirts. We have t-shirts on the way, and then obviously these catch cans. I want to show you guys these catch cans, and I still need to finish making my frame mount one. So either way, guys, I got a bunch of stuff coming for you guys, so I really appreciate y'all watching. And again, if you're on the fence about it, just buy a PSE box. Just buy it. Just get it done and over with. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Later.